The wreck of the RMS Titanic rests silently on the ocean floor, nearly 4,000 meters beneath the surface of the North Atlantic Ocean. More than a century has passed since the ship sank during its maiden voyage in 1912, yet its story continues to capture the imagination of people around the world. Since its discovery in 1985 by Robert Ballard, the Titanic has been the focus of numerous deep-sea expeditions, scientific studies, and public fascination. However, this attention has also led to an important and ongoing debate. Should the Titanic be left undisturbed? For many, the Titanic is not just a shipwreck, but a memorial. The sinking of the RMS Titanic resulted in the loss of more than 1,500 lives, making the wreck site a place of deep emotional significance. Some experts and members of the public believe that disturbing the site, whether through exploration or artifact recovery, is disrespectful to those who lost their lives. They argue that the Titanic should be treated in the same way as a cemetery, left untouched as a mark of respect. This perspective emphasizes the human aspect of the disaster. Each object on the ocean floor, from pieces of the ship to personal belongings, represents a story connected to a real person. Removing these items or altering the site could be seen as erasing part of that story. For those who support this view, preserving the Titanic in its current state is a way of honoring the memory of the victims. On the other side of the debate are those who believe that exploring the Titanic is both valuable and necessary. Scientists, historians, and researchers argue that studying the wreck provides important insights into the past. By examining the structure of the ship, the distribution of debris, and the condition of the wreck, they can learn more about how the disaster unfolded. Exploration has already revealed significant information about the Titanic. For example, studies of the wreck have confirmed that the ship broke into two main sections as it sank. This finding helped clarify details that were previously based only on survivor accounts. Without exploration, such discoveries would not have been possible. In addition to scientific knowledge, exploration also plays a role in preserving history. Over time, the Titanic is gradually deteriorating due to natural processes such as corrosion and bacterial activity. Some experts argue that recovering artifacts now may be the only way to preserve them before they are lost forever. These items can then be studied and displayed in museums, allowing people to connect with the story of the Titanic in a tangible way. However, this approach raises its own set of ethical questions. While artifacts can help tell the story of the Titanic, their removal changes the original state of the wreck site. Critics argue that taking objects from the Titanic is similar to removing items from a historical grave, which many would consider inappropriate. The issue is further complicated by the involvement of private companies and tourism. In recent years, some organizations have offered trips to the Titanic wreck, allowing individuals to visit the site in specialized submersibles. These trips are often expensive and marketed as exclusive experiences. Supporters of these visits argue that they generate interest in funding for research. They also point out that modern technology allows these missions to be conducted with minimal impact on the wreck. However, opponents see this as commercialization of a tragedy, turning a site of historical importance into a form of entertainment. Another important factor in the debate is the condition of the wreck itself. The Titanic is slowly decaying, and its structure is becoming increasingly fragile. Even small disturbances could potentially cause damage. This has led some experts to call for stricter regulations on activities at the site. International agreements have been established to provide guidelines for how the Titanic should be treated. These agreements aim to balance the need for research with the importance of preservation and respect. However, enforcing these rules can be challenging, as the wreck lies in international waters. Technology may offer a solution to some of these issues. Advances in remote sensing, 3D imaging, and virtual reality allow researchers to study the Titanic without physically interacting with it. These methods can provide detailed information about the wreck, while minimizing the risk of damage. Virtual experiences also allowed the public to explore the Titanic without visiting the site in person. This approach can help satisfy curiosity and interest, while preserving the integrity of the wreck. As technology continues to improve, it may become the preferred way to study and experience the Titanic. The debate over whether the Titanic should be left undisturbed reflects broader questions about how we treat historical sites. Around the world, there are many places that hold cultural, historical, and emotional significance. Deciding how to balance access, preservation, and respect is a challenge that extends beyond the Titanic. In the case of the Titanic, this challenge is particularly complex. The wreck is both a valuable source of knowledge and a powerful symbol of loss. Any decision about how to treat it must consider both of these aspects. Public opinion on the issue is divided. Some people feel strongly that the Titanic should be left alone, while others believe that exploration is justified. These differing perspectives highlight the emotional and ethical complexity of the debate. As time passes, the condition of the Titanic will continue to change. The ship is gradually being consumed by the environment, and its structure may eventually collapse. This adds urgency to the discussion, as decisions made today will affect how the Titanic is preserved for future generations. Ultimately, the question of whether the Titanic should be left undisturbed does not have a simple answer. It involves balancing respect for the past with the desire to learn and understand. Both perspectives have valid arguments, and finding a compromise is not easy. What is clear, however, is that the Titanic remains one of the most significant and meaningful sites in history. Whether it is left untouched or carefully explored, it deserves to be treated with respect and responsibility. As we continue to study and remember the Titanic, the focus should remain on honoring the people who were part of its story. By approaching the wreck with care and consideration, we can ensure that its legacy endures, even as the physical remains gradually fade into the depths of the ocean.